Howdy, banger pals. It's Blayne Smith. It's December. That means it's end of the year wrap-up content type time. We've got a bunch of great stuff coming for you, including our albums of the year and your favorite video of the year, as always. The BangerTV viewers, two-part Sam and Blayne run down your picks for album of the year. But first, we need to look at a couple of records we missed. We try and cover as much as we can over here, but we miss a couple of records. So every year we head on over to our Patreon campaign, where you should head over to and, toss us some bucks, and ask our Patreon supporters as a thank you, hey, what were the records that you wanted us to talk about this year that we didn't get to talk about? Helps us fill those gaps. So without further ado, here's the top 5 albums that we didn't get a chance to cover and you wanted to hear my opinion of. So, coming in at number 5 for the What We Missed is Midnight's Let There Be Witchery. It came out back in March on the 4th on Metal Blade Records. Have a listen. So if you don't know, but I'm sure you know, Midnight is Cleveland-based blackened speed project of Athanar, and for my money and a lot of people's money, absolutely one of the best live bands in metal today, full stop. And Satanic Royalty is one of my favorite records because it managed to capture that live experience in a record. But obviously capturing an amazing live band on a record is always a challenge. And since then, Athanar's tried a bunch of stuff, but that lightning in the bottle hasn't quite clicked in the way it did back then. But Let There Be Witchery is definitely not better than Satanic Royalty, but I feel like it might be the closest he's come to kind of giving me that feeling again. There's obviously a very specific Midnight sound, and if you're not on the bus, you're never going to be on the bus. Nothing's going to get you on the bus. You're going to go, this sounds like all the other Midnight records, but it's a really fantastic sound that just creates a very specific kind of feeling in me, and that feeling that was on Satanic Royalty, the closest I've gotten since Satanic Royalty to that is the wows on Villainy, Wretched Villainy, and then going into Sex Witchery to close out the album is so strong, so big, so fun, and yeah, I mean, I'm never gonna want to stop seeing Midnight live, so I'm always excited for a new record to check it out, and this is kind of, the most satisfied I've come away from a record since Satanic Royalty. So, for that reason, I'm giving it 4 out of 5 skulls that are live. Once again, in the hallowed tradition of making me listen to things that are completely outside of the realm of anything I usually listen to, it's Ithaca's They Fear Us. Came out July 29th on Hassle Records. If it's really outside my comfort zone, it probably has the word core in it in some way. I don't know what you'd call this, hardcore or emotive hardcore emo, metalcore. Hardcore, parkour! I don't know, man, it's core. There's a lady singing. I will say, Jamila's growls, I love. Her singing is good, but good singing doesn't necessarily work on me. But I will say, compared to something like last year's Spirit Box, this is kind of the Spirit Box slot, I'm less uncomfortable listening to this than I was to Spirit Box. I do feel it brings the heaviness that I want, and there's a lot of aggression and emotion on the record. The singing, like I said, I'm always going to kind of squirrel up when someone's singing. But if this is the singing you're going to make me listen to, this is more singing than I can get behind. Jamila does crush it, really commits the whole record. Great performances. sometimes the singing I do like, sometimes the singing I like less. Fluorescent, well, singing not so much on there, but the guitar part is one of my favorite parts on the album. So I don't know, nice saving grace there. You Should Have Gone Back has a peculiarly pretty ending that I'm like, oh, let me rewind back and hit that. The only real misstep I think on the record is album closer, but the hold really kind of crosses just over into like, I don't know, a pop song. I don't know, like I feel like I just got in an Uber and Kiss 92's on and they're just playing the hits of today. I will say, yeah, the Spirit Box comparison was in my mind here because this is what you did to me last year. And I am less mad at you this year. So I think that's a very big compliment. Again, I'm sorry if you like this record or if you're in this band. I am not the person who should be talking about this. But I will say, less upset than I thought I was going to be. So let's look on the positive. 3.5 out of 5 glass half full skulls. All right, let's keep the What We Missed train going with Kardashev's Liminal Rights on Metal Blade. Came out June 10th. Archives list this as Arizona-based progressive / atmospheric deathcore / post-metal, which sounds like a guy's about to fucking sing to me. And, ding, ding, ding.
Winner, Gagnon.
I will say, and now this band obviously didn't invent it, but I think the way they did it is probably one of the best implementations I've seen, which is frequently when a guy's singing at me, it's layered over harsh vocals at the same time, and that's a really nice chaser, I guess. It takes the harsh edge off that moonshine to me that is singing, and delivers it in a much more palatable way. And the vocal diversity on this is very strong. It's not just singing and harsh vocals. There's ranges to the singing and the harsh vocals. So yeah, if you want a nice vocal diverse mix-up of an album, this is definitely one that does it. With all those genres stacked on top, it's definitely got the case of like, this is a lot of stuff. This is a lot of record, man. This is a low hour? Come on, 45 minutes. You know, there is times where I like an hour record, but it doesn't feel like the time is necessarily always valued. There's like a spoken word section in the middle of the record that doesn't have a lot going on with it musically, and the spoken word seems very like straightly delivered. So yeah, I'm sitting there going like, now I gotta listen to a dude talk. I will say though, you know, the music is also really diverse. They can really play. They can make a nice passage that kind of gets me in. Yeah, just buy a vacuum sealer. Buy a vacuum sealer. Suck some of that length out of this bad boy. Hour? Why you guys always make me listen to these long-ass fucking records? What the hell? I will say, you know, reasonably enjoyable, though. I'm being nice. I don't know. You guys didn't pick records that made me that mad this year, so another 3.5 out of 5 skulls that are too long. Those are long skulls. It looks weird. Our runner-up album for What We Missed is a blast from the past. It's Cavin's Heavy Pendulum on Relapse Records that came out May 20th. This has been a weird year of just digging up my early 20s and teens with these bands.
When I was young,
all these records I'm reviewing are taking me back to my early days of, enjoying this kind of weird little middle ground. I don't know how you describe Cavin anymore. I think they're just a rock band. I think that all you can really say is they're a rock band. They're from Massachusetts. If you don't know Cavin, that's weird. Step outside of the genre a bit. Get to know some more bands. So yeah, I say they're a rock band because there's so much different stuff happening on here that all kind of bounces in the rock thing that I wouldn't really feel comfortable putting them in any genre anymore besides that. I mean, you start with a great groove off the top, and again, I guess vocal diversity is the theme for these records. Maybe y'all like when people mix up the vocals a lot. This vocal diversity is just kind of, a full range of styles, from like a kind of like slow Southern Steel type of thing to something that was really making me think of Doom Riders and going, man, why did Doom Riders just disappear? Doom Riders was sick. Yeah, whatever the kind of rock music you like, there's probably a track on here. Like Floating Skulls is just a fantastic rock song. Heavy Pendulum is a great blues jam. Heavier stuff, lighter stuff. They really cover a huge gamut. And part of the reason they can cover a huge gamut is this record's like an hour and 10 minutes. The hell? What the hell are you doing to me? I get paid the same no matter how long the record's... Serenity now! And the hour and 10 minutes is mostly well used. There's a couple of little blunders. Blinded by Blaze is a kind of repetitive, grady whine that kind of got on my nerves. And Days of Nothing is a 2-minute noisy interlude. And don't give me 2-minute noisy interludes on hour and 10-minute records. Get the hell out of here. But professionalism, massive amounts of experience and talent, End of Wavering, the album closer. They're gonna bring it. They're gonna make sure you leave the record with a positive impression. I joke around, I wish the record wasn't an hour and 10 minutes, but it does feel like a record that I'm actually able to pick out a couple of singles of that I like and listen to, which I don't normally have with records. I don't know if they're singles. I don't know anything that's going on. I'm in a haze right now. Yeah, I'm still recovering. It was the Banger holiday party on Friday. I don't know. Where was I? Oh, skull rating. Yeah, 4 out of 5 skulls that are like way too long. I thought those last skulls were too long. 4 out of 5 though. And then we come to our number 1 pick by our Patreon supporters. Because as a reminder, we do have a Patreon campaign. Patreon.com/BangerTV. You toss us some bucks. We toss some stuff back to you. You get some exclusive content on there. You help keep this going because, we need money to pay people appropriately, which I think is a good thing to do. So yeah, if you can toss us a couple bucks, it would be greatly appreciated. We're actually launching some exciting new content for you exclusively over on the Patreon. So you'll hear about that soon, and I think you're going to be very excited. This is something you've been asking for a while. So without further ado, the number 1 pick for what we missed on Banger TV. You love to see it. You love to get a little Canadian action going on here. It's Kenmode's NULL on Artifact Records, coming out September 23rd. Coming out. It's in the past. It's out. You should buy it. These are pals of the channel. We love them. We didn't rig this. This was your choice as well. And it's been a strong year for the Winnipeg-based band. I don't know what the hell you'd call this stuff. Kenmode is Kenmode. They are a very singular band. And they tend to, when you think you've nailed down their sound, change things up on a record. And again, bit of a shift here. So good news, Catherine Kerr, synth master, sax wizard, is now a full member of the band. Kenmode is a 4-piece now, and you go, oh, there's saxophones and synth. I wonder if that softened the sound at all. Well, I don't think anyone was expecting Kenmode to soften, but they have harshened. They have aggressively harshened. This is way more harsh. The whole record. There is no reprieve. There is no letting back. There is no easing off the gas pedal. This is harsh, aggressive noise metal of a, like I said, very singular type, and I'm happy to see it. You love a band blowing up for just going full ham into kind of what we loved about them. The absolute chaos, again, kind of bringing me back to the noise record days of my early 20s, and it's an intense record. But besides the aggressive noise, there is some, like, stuff that should kind of ease off the pressure that somehow doesn't. There's a couple of spoken word sections, and the difference of these spoken word sessions is I feel like they have a more specific tone than on the Kardashev record, where the spoken word sections almost sound like they were just plucked out of a more like kind of like 90s alternative record, which is pretty cool. Like, I could have seen these spoken word sections on a Faith No More record, no problem. And it's kind of nice. You know, we're all loving the 90s right now. Now, the problem with kind of harsh, noisy stuff is sometimes things can grate on you. There is a kind of like more droney track called The Tie, and with drone, it has to sit in a really specific spot in my brain. Otherwise, it goes from like a nice repetitive motion to a maddening itch, and that kind of just doesn't sit amazing with me. But like I said, I mean, Unresponsive having cool 90s spoken word. I mean, I'm liking spoken word on this record. It really threw me for a loop. Very, very, very harsh record. You just love to see a record this kind of heavy and harsh and pushing metal boundaries in the #1 slot for what we missed. You know, we wish we could have covered it at the proper time, but you know, it kind of gets a little bit more shine here. So that's one of the great things about this video. And I'm going to give it the shine it deserves. Definitely getting 4.5 out of 5 skulls that are all messed up. Those skulls are they've been rattled and shaken. They're all messed. They're a mess. They're a mess. It's crazy. You can barely even tell they're skulls. You can see there's 4 of them though. So yeah, I just want to close this out with a big thanks to our Patreon supporters. You guys really help us keep this going, and you know, we just need to show you the love whenever we can. Big thanks. I love you, and you know, if you're not supporting, consider supporting, and if you can't support, just go down in the comments and thank the Patreon supporters. Give them a big thanks because they're helping bring content to everybody. You know, their money builds this, and then we deliver it to you. So big thanks to them. Big thanks to y'all for watching, and we got more end of the year content coming. So much love. This has been Blayne Smith. Another year. Bye.